Hello. Today we're going to be fighting the Warm-Hearted Woodsman, but first, let's go over the decks. I have a Eugen with 2 Desperate Struggle, a Creek, Wrath of Torment, Automated Movement, Repressed Flesh, and 3 Tailoring. For passives, I have Battle Ready, Puppet Skeleton, and Electric Shock. Then I have 2 Emmas with 3 Creek, 2 Wrath of Torment, Automated Movement, Repressed Flesh, and 2 Forceful Gesture. For passives, I have Concussion, Puppet Skeleton, Punch to the Solar Plexus. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so to start it off, the Warm-Hearted Woodsman is going to be casting 3 Empty Chest, which is just 5/5 ranged. And there are also going to be these 3 trees that are going to be casting Help Me, which is 3/6, 3/6, 3/6. Generally, we just want to ignore the trees and focus down the Woodsman. So for now, we're just going to try and get as much damage as possible with a, for example, Repressed Flesh, but Wrath of Torment is the best here. Alright, now the battle proper starts, and you might have noticed that my Eugen didn't emo up, but they're still at max light. And that's because the Woodsman will restore all characters to max light at the start of each scene. And, well, now we can go over its pages, but first we gotta note that Warm Heart will give all the dice that the Woodsman plays an increase in its max roll by the number of Warm Heart stacks, so by 3 in this case. So Boisterous Ringing, 4/6 block, and then 6/8 that on clash lose 1 Warm Heart. So this one you're going to want to have a defensive on 1 and then a very strong 2, or just very strong 2. Strike of the Axe, 3/6, 3/6, no effects, very standard. And Don't Take My Heart, 4/5, 4/5 block, and then a 3/4 that on hit gain 1 Warm Heart next scene. This one you really want to avoid getting hit because you want to reduce the amount of Warm Heart that the Woodsman has to 0, because upon reaching 0 Warm Heart, the Woodsman will get staggered. Alright, for Abnormality Pages, we'll take Gleaning because it's basically the only one that'll trigger. And I'll put it on this Emma because she has the least stagger resistance left. Let's see, Lumber, 4/6, 4/5, 3/4, 5/5. But for each of the first 3 die that loses, the last die will lose 2 power. Strike of an Axe, same thing, and Don't Take My Heart, same thing. Alright, and here I'll just take Rake because Torn Off Wisdom might actively harm us. And back here, we're back to the same stuff, but Warm Pulse, 6/8 slash, on clash lose 1 Warm Heart next scene. So just something with a strong 1 will work best. Alright, now that the Woodsman's staggered, we won't get restored to full light. That's okay because we just have, the double damage that we can deal. And so if you're at like full light or close to full light, then you can probably kill. But since I'm not, I'll just need to sell for doing a lot of damage, and I'll finish it in the next cycle. Alright, now we're back to full light. And it's back to the lumber phase. Alright, and there we go, trees will die, and yeah, that's the fight. After defeating the Warm-Hearted Woodsman, you'll get access to these Abnormality Pages. A Warm Heart is fairly powerful. Being a tier 2 page actually works in its favor since you'll typically have 5 or more max light, so you can have a bit of leeway. As long as you're managing your light, this is a very consistent power booster. Cartier is another pretty strong page. The light reduction is fairly easy to trigger, but applies to random pages, so you won't always get the bonuses right away. I like how the cost reduction lingers, so you don't need to use the page immediately. Finally, Timber is the weakest of the 3 pages in my opinion. The boost is very powerful, but somewhat hard to trigger based on page order and such. It's easiest to use against bosses who often have ridiculous amounts of max light. In the next video, I'll be taking a brief aside to talk about all the good pages and passes from the general receptions thus far. I won't put them in any of my decks since some people don't like to use them, but I might recommend some strong additions. In any case, I'll see you soon, and as always, thank you for watching.